Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank all the members who have contributed to this debate right from when debate began last week on Thursday to this late hour in the day, including the nominated member Irene Mayaka, who was the last person to contribute with the dismissment. Honorable Speaker, may I also confirm that we were not interrupting her, we were just trying to remind her that we do not know of a word like dismissment. It is dismissal, not dismissment. Honorable Speaker, maybe I will begin from that because she was the last contributor, and just like any other position created under the public service, there is a system or process of dismissal of public officers already established in law. So we need not repeat the same for this particular position, because the position, as those who have cared to read the committee's report and its addendum will note, that is a position now that is being created in the public service. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, I listened, Honorable Speaker, as I came from burying my good friend, an elder in my constituency this afternoon, and as I was driving back, I was listening to the leader of minority raise the issues that were of concern to him. Honorable Speaker, if you listen to everybody who has raised, including the Honorable Tiende Amolo, who had a dissenting report or a minority report view on this committee's report, they have largely dwelt on the constitutionality of this particular position of CASs. Honorable Speaker, if you go to Article 132 4A of the Constitution on the presidency, on the functions of the President, 132 4A says that the President may A, perform any other executive function provided for in this Constitution or in national legislation, like we are legislating, and except as otherwise provided for in this Constitution, except as otherwise provided for in this Constitution, may establish an office in the public service in accordance with the recommendations of the Public Service Commission. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, just the plain reading of that particular provision of our Constitution, that except as otherwise provided for within the Constitution, the President may establish an office in the public service in accordance with the recommendations of the Public Service Commission. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, I was saying, for those who cared to read through the committee's report, the Public Service Commission is in submission to the committee on the question of the establishment of the position of the Cabinet Chief Administrative Secretary. The committee report says that the PSC stated that it is in support of the proposed Section 12A, 1, as it is in line with its recommendation to the President on the establishment of the office of CAS in accordance with Article 132 4A of the Constitution, as I have read, Honorable Speaker. And indeed, they went on to even add certain provisions in terms of the years of experience that may be required for this particular position. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, it is very far from the truth, and I have seen a lot of our media practitioners pick on this particular narrative that this position is unconstitutional. That is very far from the truth. There is absolutely nothing unconstitutional in the President, in pursuant to Article 132 4A of the Constitution, establishing an office within the public service that will help him to deliver to the people of Kenya. And if it is, Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the advice of the Public Service Commission, as the case is under this particular circumstance, Honorable Speaker, then so be it. This office can be established legally and within the confines of our Constitution. Honorable Speaker, a lot also has been confused on the cases, and if you read the minority report by the Honorable Tiende Omolo, you see either the Matindi and 3 others case versus the National Assembly, or the Controller of Budget and others. All those cases that were quoted in the minority report, Honorable Speaker, are cases that were determined by the courts, and part of the issues the courts raised are what are being addressed by this bill and also the amendments proposed in the report by the committee. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, I say many of the people that I listened to this afternoon, I said I can bet 99.9%, except, of course, if you listen to the Honorable Mayaka and the Honorable Basil Ngui. Honorable Speaker, Basil Ngui is his name. Is the Honorable Basil Ngui, the member for Yata. You can tell those are two particular members who have read both the bill and the report. The others, including the leader of minority, Honorable Speaker, I must say, are informed by what they think is speaking to the gallery. And most, Honorable Speaker, I noticed a trend where people are afraid of particular appointees to this, those who have been appointed to this position of CAS. And I know there are those from one corner of this country who are afraid of former governor for Nairobi, Kidero, who was nominated as a CAS. And they are afraid, of course, Honorable Speaker, because of the politics that is going on around the lakeside, Honorable Speaker. And I know there is a certain quarter that is afraid that Governor Evans Kidero, if he is to assume such a position, he might take over Baba's constituency down by the lakeside. And I know many of them are informed by that fear. And that is why you see the opposition to this bill is not based on law. It is not based on what the committee has said. It is based or informed by other political considerations. But I want to tell them, my dear brothers, the leader of minority, and those others like my good friend, Senior Counsel Tiende Omolo, I know they are all gunning to inherit Baba down by the lakeside. But they should not be afraid of Evans Kidero and the others who had been nominated, like my good friend, the former member for, what's his name? I've forgotten his name, who has been appointed now as an ambassador to Egypt. Honorable Speaker, the other issues, Honorable Speaker, that were being spoken to, I'm afraid many of them, if members had also bothered to read the committee's report and the addendum, have been addressed. The question of the who keeps the public seal, that again is very well addressed in this committee report, and the committee has proposed certain amendments, which when we get to the committee of the whole House, Honorable Speaker, will be prosecuted by the Honorable Murugara on behalf of the committee, and they have indeed agreed with many of the contributions I've had here, including that from the Honorable Basil, that the public seal should remain in the office of the Attorney General. That is more or less seen as a political, Honorable Speaker, and not a transitory office, as the case would be for that of the head of public service. Honorable Speaker, if you read the report also, there is a point that the Public Service Commission also raises on the need to have the office of the head of public service and the chief of staff to the president being two separate offices, Honorable Speaker, and including that of the secretary of the cabinet. And Honorable Speaker, for those who have served in the public service will tell you or know, those are two very busy offices, and there is need to separate the functions and have each office have its own distinct functions to assist the president in running of government and management of cabinet affairs, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with those very many remarks, I beg to reply and thank all the members, especially those who read both the bill and were also informed by the committee's report and its addendum for the many contributions that they made, many of which will enrich a debate or the amendments that are being proposed in third reading or in committee of the whole. And there are a few, Honorable Speaker, that may not have been captured by the committee, and sitting and listening to all members, we will incorporate them during committee of the whole. But for those who are running from political ghosts and political shadows, I am sorry, I have no cure for that kind of fear. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to ask them to indulge, even those from Luo Nyanza and by the lakeside, who are prospective appointees as chief administrative secretaries, because they deserve, and they are Kenyans like all other Kenyans from other parts of the country. And therefore, nobody, either the Honorable Tiende Amolo, the Honorable Pio and I, should be afraid that those from their backyard who get this position may be advantaged in any way over and above those who are also seeking to inherit the position that the former Prime Minister has held over the years in ODM and Azimio and as leader of the opposition. With those many remarks, thank you, and I beg to reply.
Honorable members, the chair, substantive chair, Speaker of the House, indicated that he's going to make a determination on the constitutionality of certain provisions of the bill tomorrow. Consequently, the question cannot be put now. So we're going to the next